This is Divine Sunshine coming to you with today is a lesson, sort of like a master's class of sorts, on the guide to dealing with the strawberry moon. This is going to help you to understand what's going on with the energies. I know they've been kind of a little rough, but understanding where the energy is going to push us and where we're going to end up at. I also have a guided channeled message for me about what July and August is going to actually mean for us as well. So I am a Cassandra. I have also channeled a lot of things about what's happening in the months that are to come on the twin flame journey. Cassandra is, I heard somebody say, what's a Cassandra? Cassandra is a Greek um it was a Greek goddess known to be able to prophesy about what is going to happen in the future. And so that is Notre Dame's was one. I've always had like a real keen like affinity to him of doing things. And a lot of times I have been known to like sit down in the Bible and look in different Psalms and kind of really get an understanding. And like in some of the Psalms now, he's really saying about what's actually happening. Even George Floyd is mentioned in the Bible verse about what's going on. And how he was sent here to be able to make these changes like it is. So this is not something that just came out of the blue. Her mom pushed me to remind myself, say, well, have you read the Bible verse to let you know about you? Because most time you can tell what's going on. Is this stuff in there now? And so this is a way for us to kind of really understand what's going on. So I got that too, so we can really work with that understanding of what are we pushing towards to. So I'm going to go into this one is a freebie of the master's class, and I'll see when spirit leads me. It said pretty much after when I'm finished with school, it'll start pushing me as to how I'm going to be able to conduct and do these things. So this is a master class for free because I think that we kind of really need to know this, what's going on. I haven't did my classes in a while. Last time I had did was the twin flame with the healing the inner child. That was a master class as well. And really understanding how we need to deal with how we can get healing of that. So let's kind of delve right on into it. No, this one. Okay, into what we're looking at. So this is, let me go over to the other side because I can't see that. And I'm not going to try to see that. Okay, so now right now with the energies that we're experiencing with the Sagittarius moon is this guide that I'm using here is based upon K Moon's. I love K Moon. K Moon is very good in helping you to understand if you're lost and don't know what your mission is or how things are affecting you as far as in your astrology. I tell you, astrology is like a blueprint. It helps us to understand, especially if we're empathic, help us to understand the energies that surround us, how we're being infected, especially due to our astrology. Signs and placement. It's not just based on one thing, because even if your sun sign like me is an Aries, but then you're rising in Sagittarius, which is your representative of how people see you, and your moon is in Aquarius, which means that's how you're affected emotionally with everything. It's going to be a little different of how you express yourself as an Aries. So those are some things that go into her. She kind of helps you to understand your purpose. She helps you to understand who you are and helps you to understand your mission. So I really highly recommend that you check her out. And so this is based upon at the end, I have listed her video, and I will post that later on down at the bottom too as well, from her K Moon Sagittarius film, because I'm not versed in astrology. However, when she says things, I get noted channel messages as well. So that's why I wanted to make sure I bring it to you all so you can understand that as well. So I also have a channel message in here too. So let's move on to the next thing. So When I also will offer, let me say this before I get into my lecture. I also am offering this workbook or this PowerPoint presentation on Divine Unisouls 11.co. You can go there and purchase it just for $4, just for $4. As for my time, resources, and energies of putting this together for you so you can have this, because I know some people like that tangible things that you can be able to resource, that you can go back and look at it and take notes as well as you're listening to this. So if you want to stop the video, say, let me head on over there to divineunisouls11.co, go get the workbook so I can be able to, or this PowerPoint so I can be able to follow along, because I can't quite see it on this presentation that she's showing here. You're more than welcome to do that. Look on your computer with the PowerPoint and listen to me on your phone or your iPad or whatever other tablet to be able to hear what I'm saying as I'm going through this. So you're more than welcome to stop and do that right now. Okay, so now what we're looking at is right now, because of the energies that's being brought to us, we're looking at duality. This duality is brought upon us because we are now in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is bringing on the presence of understanding, that represents the twins. The twins are, you representing both the boy and the girl twin, or the feminine and the masculine, which means you got polarities there, the positive polarity and the negative polarity. The negative polarity is represented by the divine masculine energies, and the positive polarity is represented by the feminine energies as well. So here right now, duality is upon us. So right now, where we are, we should be asking several questions of ourselves, such as, where are you looking at in a place of duality? Where have you not lived up to your highest ideal yet? Some of these things is you should be actually saying, that is not my issue, it's theirs. Like sometimes you're pushing off those things and you're saying it's not a part of you, and you're saying, oh, it's divine masculine energies is showing up like that, but that might actually be something that's resonating in something that belongs to you. And we remember, we are mirrors. We're looking at each other. We are mirror images of each other. So again, what things you don't like and that's lacking in your partner is things that's lacking in you, maybe in a different way. Just like in the mirror, I put my right hand up, but in the mirror it's the left hand. So keep those things in mind. We can no longer, when you think those kind of thoughts like that, you keep yourself still in separation coming from that plane. So what have you been selling yourself short with doubt, listening to others, but not your heart? Those are the things that you should be asking. Have I been listening to others? I have been true to myself. And I talked about in the channel message that I got today about redefining union, how my mom was saying, I understand you saying that that's your divine, your twin flame, but nothing that I see y'all interacting seems like y'all twin flames. And again, like I told in the video, you got to pay attention to their experiences. What have you been shown? Are you just showing a trailer of your relationship and they're going off of that? Or do they really truly know that the entire movie from beginning to end, or is it a different version? It's the book version and then there's the movie version. Most of the times those are two different versions that's being shown there. So where have you put others first and not yourself? So you have to kind of remember also, when you're talking about that, where have you put others first and not yourself, that you're thinking about putting others, what their viewpoints are, or are you being a martyr? Are you letting other people's viewpoints go before yourself and not your needs? And you right now, that's a duality that causes a split within both you and your heart's desires against the other person's heart's desires. So you have to kind of remember that you have to come up with, how is that conflicting with where you believe you're supposed to be, or your heart's desires, and gain those things? Where have you been being in a job but it's not fulfilling? So you've been in a job, maybe you say, oh, I do teaching, I don't like really being a teacher anymore, but now I really want to do this spiritual thing full time, 24 hours. Okay, that's a duality, because now the job is now becoming kind of karmic-y, because now you're learning lessons and you're feeling like maybe your boss doesn't understand you, maybe the things that's going on the job is really conflicting with your heart, or things that they're doing, their policies they're not doing with integrity, they're not practicing. You like, that kind of goes against me. I'm not really for this. So that again causes duality to be placed upon us too. So with the energies that we're in currently, causes you to be able to start looking at how are these two things conflicting. So the energies, the sign. So right now we're in the sign of Sagittarius, which is brought on by the moon. And that's Sagittarius are signs in which are very head spot on. You got that archer there. So you got also, um it's got the animals, got the horse, half horse there, stallion, but then also it's got the human body, which is also aiming for the stars, which in turn I'll add on my own thing. To me, that adds on again to the duality. How to deal with the animal to me is really being in the 3D, doing things based upon survival, animalistic instincts, those things, and then having the human there, which what makes the difference between a human and an animal is that we're being able to what they saying we have they have instincts, we have a conscious, and saying, but we're finding out now they kind of intertwine with each other. So but anyway, we go back to the old-fashioned template of understanding that. So we have a conscious that's doing that, and that makes it a difference between the two of us. And so consciously we're taking that consciousness and being able to take that archer and to be able to aim higher, and have that laser beam focus as far as the target as to where you want to also be able to go. So now with this Gemini influence, now it's saying, okay, now although you got the target sign and you know exactly what you want to aim for, is there something in which is causing you not to be able to pull back that arrow and to be able to aim and shoot for your target dead on? This is where we are now, and we got to take an introspective. That means look within ourselves to see what is it. I think April had mentioned something about that, like when you targeting and shooting. I think a mentor had told her, say, you don't pay attention to where it's going to land, because that can kind of throw you off. It's just like you got to have a feeling. That's the same thing I think in archery. They're saying that it's a breath, it's a breathe, it's a technique in which you do that in order for you to be able to do that. You got to will it to go to your target. Sometimes it's not, you got to think of it like, okay, I'm doing this. You get that thought blocks you, but it's more so of a feeling of you intuitively becoming one with that arrow and feeling even in that breath when you letting go and it hits that target. I'm not an archer, but I know it's an art form to it that lets you know of how that you hit the target sign, and it doesn't go from all mental thing. It's got to be a feeling, and it's a heart, and it's got to be a will, and it's also that energy that you send out there too. When we talk about the divine feminine energies, right now for the divine feminine, it is your time to lead. We've been saying that. We've been saying that the year 2020 has been a time of leading for the divine feminines anyway. And we got a little thrown off because of, we was like, well, this 2020 year, the vision, being able to see, because we got 20 years, catchphrases, nice, cute things. Well, 2020 is the year of seeing things visually. And this causes for us to really now take introspection, looked as far as us as divine feminines, and understanding, it's our time to lead. We had said that with the Me Too movement, again, you're looking at the 3D, you're moving into the 5D, which was bringing that message down, or that theme down to us to understand it. It's a shift. And now it's saying, again, we've been saying all along, even before then, on the twin flame journey, it's all about the divine feminine energies. Now, please, again, do not get twisted again, because you're the female and you're the one that houses the divine feminine energies. You can be a divine feminine and you can house the divine masculine energy. So I'm talking to the divine feminine energies. So whichever one that you resonate with at that time. So again, right now you're leading because you need to have some wisdom. Right now, it's time for you to lead with wisdom. It's time for you to use insight and leadership. They are now calling you now, spirit, source, powers that be are asking for you now to have that, like I'm showing in this picture, this alignment, get power over this illusions that you have, understanding that you have authority, and it is your birthright to have everything underneath the sun. Everything under the sun is something that you have also entitlement to. So now, right now, the divine feminine energy is like never before. It's getting pushed into that leadership role. So, divine feminines, is your time to lead. If there is something you need to do, you need to take the initiative in cardinal signs. So, cardinal signs, those are the ones that are cardinal signs are Aries. Okay, hold on a second. I want to make sure because I wrote this here. Um, Okay, just because you that don't mean that. Okay, Aries is a cardinal sign. I know Cancer is a cardinal sign. Who is this one? Libra is a cardinal sign, and Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So we got Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Water. Cancer is a cardinal sign. Okay, so with that, understanding that cardinal signs are, I want to make sure, because cardinal signs initiate and set the tone for a season. They're dynamic. So all of these here is helping you to take the initiative. Okay, those are the ones that I mentioned you all are going to have it the most really hit, or look in your chart as well, and that's where it's really going to be taking the initiative in, if you have any of those ones that I'm talking about. So now, since we're talking about, we got the Libra. So Libra is kind of influencing also what's going on in the energies that she stated there, which causes you to take a more interpersonal work, which you're looking at, seeing how things are affecting you inside, introspection. And you're finding ways to have partnerships between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, because you're looking at how are you interpersonally connecting with others as well. So many of the ways to do it is to bring in inequality and disparity. Some of the air signs, the air sign influence, which we know, which you can have the Gemini that we're in, is helping to bring in that communication of how we can be able to do that interpersonal work as well. And so you are called to take an action and not to be silenced right now, divine feminine energy. So right now you might even find yourself being very vocal, maybe even on Facebook, putting your 2 cents to what's happening into the world. Or maybe you feeling like, right now it's time for you to do that YouTube channel. So you're finding yourself really finding areas of communication, how to be able to, even if they say, even if you're dealing with other people in your world, family members at work and jobs, so you could be able to give your voice, because it needs to be heard. And again, like I say, on this channel, it's not for them to change your mind, the regular Joes to change your mind. It's for you to change as a twin flame or a light worker, to change the regular Joe's mind. So start researching how to do something locally and globally. So some things you might say, what, I really want to do something about what's going on with the George Floyd and the movement with racism, and being able to play your part or do something like that. So you might want to look in and do some research, a Google search, to see how maybe you can do something. Maybe there's a cause that you might want to do. And one way of being able to do that is to kind of look up and see how you can maybe link up with that, or seeing how somebody has already did a cause, and see how you can be able to do to not reinvent the wheel. I think about when I was taking classes for my doctorate. And I remember the man was saying, like, if there's somebody got a dissertation out there that you like, you could base it upon theirs. Don't go in there reinventing the wheel, make it as easy as possible. You're still going to have to do the research, but you can at least follow their outline and tell you how you can be able to do that, so you don't have to create more. You just always remember, you're trying to think how to work smarter, but not harder in what's going on. So the divine feminine, we have to practice fairness and justice. We are being called to learn a new way. We know that, especially with what's going on in the world, that we are not looking to still solve our problems in the same manner that we have done before. This is why now, even in the 3D, is showing us and exhibiting how we are now going about and socializing with each other, how we're practicing even cleanliness with ourselves. even how we even enjoying and having time with our family, spending time with ourselves. This is a new way of understanding of how we interact interpersonally too. So the outside is showing us that, because a lot of us weren't getting that to understand this is brand new. And even if you heard me in the other video I was saying about how we even interacting with our divine counterparts as well, divine masculine, being able to look and view them in a different way as well. So not looking at them as like a Beauty and the Beast as the monster or the beast, but also doing how Belle is more time went on in their relationship. She started viewing and looking at the beast's heart when she's talking, and less looking at the outer exterior. So that's what we're doing. So we need to start doing things we start doing things to do, which means we got to start doing something. Even if it's just one foot in front of the other, but just sitting there idly not doing anything, that's not doing something. We have to become actively a part of something as well. Like I said, do a Google search to see about what things you can be doing. Embrace the newness. I know this is new, especially on the outside of how we're being stuck in the house through isolation. But a lot of us are still, as we're looking collectively through the twin flame, like social medias and things of that nature, some of us are still not getting it. I can see that even on my channel, how some of people are putting thumbs down on some radical thoughts and ideas that I'm bringing out, and they're not really radical. It's just really way source wants us to start thinking for us to truly be practicing unconditional love, really on this. And the several principles that I go on this channel is Christ, being Christ-like, practicing that, the way shower, also Buddha, and also metaphysical principles that I have, which is the basic principles of truth that I have been raised upon. And those things are things that I find that it helps me also with this walk of being a twin flame journey. So, I'm noticing that that's not just even on my channel. I watched another person's on theirs, and somebody was giving thumbs down, and I didn't see anything that the lady was saying that was of harm, there was a difference. And it's just thumbs down. And sometimes I'm kind of feeling, I try to tap into their energy, and I don't try to get into the too deep. The saying some of this thumb down is just to be thumbed down. And it's just like, okay, we as twin flames, if you truly are twin flames, we have watched readers, and you probably even on my channel say, okay, I kind of don't agree with divine sunshine, but I'm not going to put a thumbs down on it, because again, maybe at this time I'm not really understanding it. Maybe that's where her belief system is at that time, and maybe sooner she would evolve and maybe change later on. Or maybe it's time for me to maybe think, maybe it's a change within my system or my ideology that maybe I need to open up to as well. So I'm really kind of noticing some trends as well within us as twin flames, that we are really so staunch down on our core beliefs that we're not open and receptive to hear anything else. And so that's why we got to get to the point that we are really embracing the newness, and not to be scared. And some of us are doing the thumb downs because we're scared. We're getting triggered by some new things that's being said out there by readers. And, it's like, oh, this is new. This is the unknown. And a lot of times that's the same thing, just like how racism is. Don't like anything new. We reject it. We name it, we shame it, and we blame it, and we do everything negative to it instead of us embracing it. And that same thing, just like I say, how racism came about, is because we don't understand the other race. Instead of us taking time out, studying it, getting some more knowledge about some things, asking some questions, we rather label it something X, Y, and Z. It's the bad thing. And so we got to move away from that separatism idea. Again, that's the divine masculine energies problems, and this is my divine feminine energies, or how we view each other as well as being separate, because it's not really helping us to advance and to ascend. We got to embrace it all. We've got to truly become Christ-like. And so we have to also become like spiritual activism. We got to practice that, become a spiritual activist, and understanding that we are twin flames, understanding that we have to voice our opinion. Those things, we're not beating people down with it, but we're just shedding a light on them to say, hey, have you thought about looking at the situation from this point of view? You thinking about it from this way, but let's kind of raise things, the vibration and the syntax and the words that we're using, or the way we're looking at it from a different point of view. And that's what your thing is here for you to do. Now, when we're looking at the divine masculine energies here, we have with the divine masculine energies of understanding that that the divine feminine has no other aspect that is talking to her but the shaman aspect. And what the K Moon was talking about is like a lot of them, unlike the divine masculine energies, he's got a lot of planets that's shifting and changing him at this point. And the only thing we have here is now is for us to be out there to just be able to be those change makers. Right now is we're doing the work, the shaman work. And so that's what the divine feminine, like I say, creating those interpersonal things, helping to change things on the outside, helping people out. With the divine masculine, he has that Jupiter influence there, which is in Capricorn, which again is that grounding and rooting. That's the earth sign. So, and he's understanding that he's to look inward right now for the divine masculine, not to be looking outward. And so that's why he's semi in hermit mode, if you want to put that in there. And I think we're in divine feminine, and to me, when I look at it, as high priestess or mode, uh, or of that, looking at that is then that the highest one as well. So that's what we're looking at. I'm hearing Hierophant too. Maybe we resonate with both energies too, because we house both, even as the feminine. So we're taking both of those energies and finding how we can be able to ascend with that. But the divine masculines energies, your thing is to take that inward look. And it feels like the lights. So right now, some of the divine masculine energies as you're going on, and some of you all kind of ebb and flow in those energies from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. Some of you all might feel like the lights of the world are out, and that's why I picked this picture here. Some of you all might feel like your luck is ran out. You might even feel like the relationships in the areas of your relationship, yourself and your family may feel like the rug is being pulled out as well. And the things you thought you knew are not the same, because again, from even the feminine energies and for the divine masculine energies, is for us to start anew. It's for us to kind of clean the slate and start reteaching ourselves or reparenting ourselves about the things that we thought that we know. She stated, in K Moon stated, and I'm going to go ahead again and quote her again, and cites her, that she says May and September will be challenging. Now, again, myself and Jupiter 1111, we always have that premise of understanding that just because somebody said it, it does not have to be so. You can go in there and say, okay, I understand there's some things that I've got to learn. There's some things that's going to come in that's going to help to make these major shifts within me. I ask for it to be, I'm asking for my angels, my guides, and source to make it as fun as possible, make it in a way that is not very heartbreaking as well, but that I've got it. Now, there's times that you feel that I might need to be kind of like that. I call it that slap, that spiritual slap, or it kind of get me in there because it don't seem like I'm kind of getting it. Then I do give that, but I would like it to be more joyful or more fun lessons than it to be more so those tower moments or more aha moments than it be towers. But again, I leave it up to you, spirit, to guide and do it in the best way as possible. That's going to help to transform me to my greatest and to my highest self. But again, I'm just putting it out there. I would like to learn it that way. Okay. And that's me asking. And that's the way how you would ask that as well. So keep that in mind. You know, you give the temperature gauge. Again, you are a co-creator, you are the architect. Like my dad always showed me before, when he passed, a whole bunch of us. I know it's him because he likes to do this. My thing is that showed me a lot of spiders when he crossed over, and so that he was just telling me, you know, you are the designer. I have a friend, his name is Kevin Ross, that has a book saying about being the designer of your life as well. And you know, he's talking about in the book how you design how you want things to be. We're not going to do this by happenstance, or like we experiment here as well, although they say the twin flame thing element did came as an experiment. But again, we got free will. We still can determine how we want things to happen and occur, but we still could give spirit or source that thing to say, okay, if you think it's needed, you can, but I would really like to be learned this way. So this year for the divine masculine, you're under construction. Okay. You are under construction. So looking at how we're looking at what some ways in which we're going to be doing that is looking at how we have been abused, how our partners have abused us, how we have abused others, how people have abused their powers over us. That's why I said before I got on here the other channel message that I have about let's redefine union. You know, watch, and when you're in the divine masculine energies, it's so easy for you to kind of go into ego, and how you have to really kind of check yourself before you wreck yourself, as far as understanding how you are being using that power. Because again, I think about Daniellleboomlle, and he's always stating how a lot of times when the divine masculine is getting ready to ascend, or he's in his power, or he's in his authority, he has a tendency to burn the divine feminine. And that's the same thing he said, the opposite. When the divine feminine is in her power authority, she has a tendency to burn the divine masculine. It's like, you know, I'm up here, I'm feeling myself. And we have to watch how we can be able. That's why I said a lot of times with the divine, when you're interacting and they make you feel good, you got to take that energy and ground yourself into that. If William says not to ground it, to take it down to earth, I say take it to earth, and then you can take it back into your heart and let it ground into there as well. But you got to ground that energy, otherwise you'll float away, and that's when you start going into the burning of ego and floating up into your ego, into the wrong aspect of that, and then you start kind of like saying, you know, mouthing off, because the divine feminine has a way that we can be able to get the divine masculine through our words, and pierces his heart. And just like with the divine masculine and his words and his actions, he can be doing things to make us think of things for long periods of time. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. So we have to make sure that we are getting help from outside source, spirit and source, where we getting that help to help us to kind of maybe look at ourselves and saying what things need to be changed. We need to also look at spirit as well. So we got to kind of get it from both ways. It's really those things that's going to help us to kind of have a really better introspection, although we're looking at ourselves. But sometimes you have that dialogue with yourself only, and you don't get other perspectives, and that doesn't really help you to kind of ascend. So sometimes it's okay for you to get that outside, but again, caution. Look at the source and the person that you're using as a resource, making sure that they really truly understand you. You got to anchor in divine masculine this year. You're being anchored into a new template. So the things like you said earlier, you know, I feel like the rug been pulled out. The things that I know I don't know, and the things that I think I know, I don't know nothing at all. And so you're coming from that aspect of understanding there's this newness that you have to do. And how do we act as a man and woman that honors everything? We have to check ourselves again. Like I said before, we wreck ourselves. We really look and see how we're honoring the men in our life, how we're honoring the women. This is you also the spirit talking to me and saying that we're talking about the divine masculine energies housed in both the woman and the male avatar. That means the outside you have the breast and hips, and the divine masculine has the penis. You still are housed in the divine masculine energies as well. So as the divine feminine has the breast and the hips. So understanding that we have to look at how are we honoring each other in everything that we do. Are we still putting them in that old template of, okay, he just being a dog, or we putting them in that still a template for the feminine, or she's being promiscuous, or she's being Thadalina, or what ways? Or are we looking even on the job? That's how we interact socially. Are we looking at the men is always get paid much higher than the woman? The woman is also, she's doing the same thing, but she still get a lower rate and pay. You know, I'm not comfortable on the job and organizations. I think a man should always be at the head and leadership role, while the woman just still be that support. She could be assistant manager, but she can't be the director of the organization. So those are some things that we got to look at. You know, how are we treating them when we are interacting with women? You know, we're expecting them to be a piece of property, or are we really saying that they are really our helpmate, or somebody that when we're in a relationship, we are on the same level? Or is she supposed to be subservient, subordinate to things? So we got to watch these distorted patterns that we keep feeding in, like this wheel here that keeps it turning with still the distortion as well. Social media, It helps with that distortion as well as how we interact with each other as a man and a woman. And so we've got to kind of get to that point that we are stopping the wheel and saying that hamster wheel and saying we want to start something totally different. So some changes that the divine masculine energies need to have is changing the scope. That means having a wider scope or getting a more tuned in, like laser beam focus, just like the Sagittarius in what we're doing. We have to remember that when we're dealing with our divine masculine energies, if they're housed in a man, that means somebody that's got a penis, understanding that they are loving just because of the way social media has put them as like they the boss or they the macho man, that it goes beyond that we have an understanding that they are really loving at heart. Like I said, when I was dealing minds, and you seen in the channel message that how loving he is, you can see that tenderness. If they allow you to, you can see like, oh, now I see why I'm so head over heels in love with them. Seeing all males from more of an aspect of more so being of their heart. And when you interact with them, see them from that point, and that all that illusion and that extra facade that they throwing at you and saying, okay, you know what, I really trust you. I see you. I see you, boo. And I mean, I see you. Again, we understand that their roles is also to provide and protect as well, and that's also part of the divine masculine roles. But they're saying we're much more than just that. We really are. That's like I said about my dad. It took me a while to understand that, but although he was very much a provider for the family and he worked several jobs and things of that understanding, he really took that role as protecting very serious, and some things got lost in the shuffle, as far as saying, okay, but where's the heart? Where's the love at it? Where's it spending time with daddy? Where's it spending time with my husband? Those things. He was so on with what society had put in him. He forgot about his heart in the process, which is interesting that he passed away from heart condition. And so that's a lot of things of understanding that, in all things, let's not forget and recognize the heart that the divine mass. It doesn't matter what they're express, because a lot of times why they express and they do the way they are is because they're protecting that heart. That heart is very tender, it's very gentle, and in this world right now, the way how it has been, and thank God that right now sources changed it has not been able to sustain a person that's like that. They always viewed as they're weak, they're soft, those things. And I think about that watching New Edition, and the manager there, which was the choreographer, he's always talking about, y'all, I heard y'all talking, y'all sound soft, y'all sound soft. And so, you got people who are saying that. And so you got to be able to help to change and shift their mindset, this old school way of thinking of the template for the divine mask, and the understanding that, just because I cry, just because I show myself in this kind of way of vein, does not mean that there's something wrong with me, or that I'm gay or homosexual. And that's another thing that caused them to kind of really start thinking about themselves, about expressing in that way, because they're saying, oh, my friend's going to be thinking that I'm a certain way, and that's not what I'm about. And so you have to, right now, you have to let them know it's okay that, this is softer side of me. DM has to change the structure of old thinking. That's what I said. I didn't even see that yet next. So that's a definite. They have to do that. Deliver a way of doing and having a being. You have to create a new template. Like they had the, what was it? Oh Lord, I can see it now. It was a type of male that was out there now. It's the Metro man, Metro masculine, which is a person who was like, I go get my fingernails done. See, that was the outside doing. So that was acceptable. Men going to you go to the nail shop, you see them getting their pedicures and their manicures as well. Our DMs talked about that too. And I said, oh yeah. He said, yeah, I used to go get my stuff, my nails and stuff done together. So, you go in there and you getting those things done. Now some people not like, oh, got eyebrow raised. My dad always had done that. Now my dad did that because at the time his uncle owned a barbershop, and he had also had a manicurist on site then too. They was had to curve this back then. Daggone 70s, dad was getting his stuff done. And my thing is now that's the outside acceptable. See, but we got to work now. We trying to work on inside things, you know, the softer things. That it's okay if I'm nurturing, and I like doing things like preparing meals and doing things that we the role of a mother. You know, that's all right. You know, I love change the baby diaper and taking everything, going out into the park and watching them have play dates with their friends and things like that. You know, some people say, oh man, what you doing that for? That's the role for the woman. You know, it's like, nah, hey, I help to bring them into the world. That's not just the mothers, the one that my baby mama's job. You know, those are some things that I really find relish, and I feel very like I'm really connecting with my child by doing that. I feel that I am really being a provider and a protector, and I'm professing my love for my kids. So, you know, for you to be talking about that's the role of the woman to be doing, you know, that's why I say that's what we're here to kind of change those things. So the divine mask will be completely changed spiritually. So at the end of the day, the divine mask is to be changed completely spiritually and physically. And I talked about the inside and the outside. So the divine master will get a restart in every area of his life, of your life. So this is what we're doing. So remember again, we're not just talking about the divine masculine, that's the man, the male. We're talking about the divine masculine, two energies within the female and the males. So you got to think about how you getting shifted and twisted around too. And that's what we say, that connection is mostly with the divine masculine in his thinking. So there's going to be a shift and change in there too as well. Okay. All right then. So Pluto started the chain effect. So Pluto is the Lord. We got the Pluto started chain effect. So we got the Lord. She talked about the Lord of the underworld was also having effects about what's going on with us now, which wants to take the patterns that no longer serve us. So that's why a lot of us, the friends helping us, the family members that's helping us in that old template, they're getting removed. You know, and you might be doing it. Source might be saying, I got to remove them. They're not going to help you sustain for the new place that I want you, a new world order that I want you to be in. You might find in jobs, you might even find the ideology, things that's not helping you to become into divine, they're going to be removed. They want you to become the leader that you are, who you are, rather in your divine feminine energies is being brought to the forefront for the male and the females. You got to start thinking about who you are as a divine masculine. That's as a male and a female. So when I mention male and female, I'm talking about just the human aspect, as a human male, as a human female. Let's put it that way. Then that might stop some of y'all being confused about what I'm talking about. Divine masculine is an upgrade, you know, like they're saying, upgrade from where you are. So at the same time, while we're doing all these chain reactions as Pluto is putting on us, also, K Moon said not for us to give up on ourselves, because it's really easy, you know, especially when I was in my divine masculine energies yesterday, for me to just say F it all, you know, and just forget it. But I thank God for my soul family coming, and they was feeling I wasn't saying nothing. I don't usually too much have to say nothing when I get into those low vibe things. People start coming out the woodworks. The Jubilee 1111, Kathy D and April Williams, they were just talking, texting. And, you know, and I was like, okay, well, I got to chime in. I got to come in. You know, let me get out this funk. David Soul Mission contact me. I said, okay, let me get out this funk. My bestie called me, text me and say, you know, how you doing? I know you was upset about, you know, dad and what's going on with that. And so that jerked me out of that, you know. And so you have to learn to be able to be accepted of what shows up. You know, my mom, I spent all day with her getting things together. So it was like a really understanding that, you know, even when you had those moments, source is going to find some kind of way to help to bring you that support system. The choices that you make is not just for you, it is for others. I told you all, as light workers, your main thing is to shine your light. So while you're doing all this introspection, all this interpersonal work that you're doing right now, that is helping for the next waves of twin flames or light workers to come. And it's not only on the spiritual aspect, it's also helping for your friends and families and people in the world, in the matrix, to be able to see, oh, this is a new way of of living. This is a new concept. This is a new way of, oh, I thought that way, but I was kind of scared to do it. But now I see you doing it. And it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can be able to do that. I have to remind myself on a daily that me being as a twin flame, as a leader, even in this position, that there's going to be people who are going to be copying what I'm doing, because again, I have that skill and that talent that spirit and source is put into me that's so charismatic that people want to be able to copy and do the same thing. Okay, that's just where we all have been ingrained with, of us as light workers. And that's why when you have that mantle or that crown, it's not for you to be taken very lightly. You've got to check that ego at the door, because again, your choices and the things that you make are really being looked upon. People can look at you and tell that there's something special about you, and there's something that they want to emulate, and they want to be like you. Forget about be like Mike. They want to be like you because they see something about this light is very different. And so you have to be very conscious about the choices that you make. In some ways, you almost just like a superstar. You hear superstars say that all the time. I can't do just X, Y, and Z because people are watching me. I'm a role model. I'm a role model without me even saying I wanted that. But in order for me to have superstar, be a celebrity, that comes with the job. You being a light worker, you being emulated or wanting people to be imitate what you do, it comes with the job. You're a role model, point blank. You signed up for it. This is not by accident. This is not things, this happens just. So understand that the choices that you make also, even if they're the good, the bad, and the ugly, can be used later on for other people to be able to learn from. So you can go out there and do the wrong things, but do try to make sure that you're doing it with integrity and you're doing it with a place of being conscious, but not being scared to say, oh, if I do this, I don't know how I'm gonna look upon, do this. And that's why a lot of times people, they crack me up. Sometimes I hear even my social, spiritual friends, soul family saying that, and I laugh because I'm like, just do it. Whatever it is at the end, you being spiritual, you know how to clean it up or learn from it. Just go ahead and just do it. And, um, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're coming from a place of ego, I don't see what's wrong with whatever choices you make, as long as you understand that choice that you made will be later on used for the betterment of others. That's why when you're light workers, you shine the light on yourself, which when you shine the light on yourself, you'll be able to take that light and find what things that you found within yourself and discourage, be able to pass it on and shine the light on others so they can be able to have that discovery, and so on, and it becomes the ripple effect. Okay, so now let's move on into the channel messages for July. Now, Spirit has brought to me, in January, I said that I can clock it. I know it says Spirit said, I told you in December, a lot of things about what each month represented, what we are going to be focusing in on. I said it in Jubilee 1111's event was the 411. I gave you a blueprint about everything. I told you what was April was for. I told you it was getting everything together. May was the dress rehearsal. In June, we on stage, we taking it on Broadway. Thank you for popping, Spirit, letting you know that's confirmation. So now we're in the month of July. So what they brought to me for the month of July is the month of July will be about freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom of loosening up the shackles that bind you with things that no longer serve you. This is what we're coming from freedom. So taking what you have learned in June, applying the techniques, the newness in which you have gained. So you're taking the techniques that you have and you're going to take that newness that you have and now apply it to everything that you're doing in the month of July. So this is where you are out of the chrysalis and now you are trying your wings. Okay. So now again, we know the process of the butterfly, from the egg into from the caterpillar, and then you move into the chrysalis stage. And then for the chrysalis stage, you start breaking your way out of the chrysalis, but you know, you can kind of break out very like, ooh, busting out. I'm busting out on a serious fire. You can't do no Rick James busting out. You got to take a little bit of time because you don't want to mess up your wings. So that's what we were kind of doing through May and June a little bit. April, May, we start kind of doing that. We start pumping our wings up in about June, May and June. They showing me saying May and June, you start pumping the wings, trying to get the blood to kind of flow in there, so be strong, time to take off. July, we taking off. July, we is flying. We are actually flying. So it's be okay. So be okay to make mistakes. It's be okay to continue to disconnect from people that no longer serve you. And it's to be July is to be okay to beat to your own drum. That is what they said they wanted you to make sure that you understood. It's okay to make the mistakes. You fly on. So okay, well, I won't get on that flower no more. They don't have any kind of nectar. So you're learning, you know, still with the new things, the techniques that you have learned. And then in August, for August is fireworks. I can hear what's that saying? Oh Lord, I can see her on American Idol say, "Baby, you a firework." So now you're a baby, you're a firework. So right now, out of the chaos from the previous months, because it was a lot of chaos, a lot of things in order for it to happen that using the momentum to create something new. So you're going to be now in August, Kate, all of that chaos that you have get into, because in chaos you're learning, you're saying what things that worked on the stage, what things didn't, what people you told you say, I got to fire you, I got to give me another actor for that role because you ain't playing the part right. Maybe I tried the understudy didn't work out too well. We don't like the theater acoustics ain't working out, the lighting ain't working out. Okay, you tried it, you did it on Broadway in June right now, and now you're saying, okay, now we did it on off Broadway now. Okay, maybe we need to go ahead and kind of close it down and kind of like now look at it, rehash it. You did that all there. So now it's like the Big Bang Theory. All of this coming together and clashing of ideas and ideology, and now you're saying, bam, I can present the new world or order that I had. So we are moving into our missions in July. We are actually doing presenting our new version of ourselves in August. Sorry, said the wrong thing. We are moving to, that was July. I was right. The chaos was happening still up in July. So now we are moving in the Big Bang. So now we're moving into our missions in August. We're moving into our new version of ourselves in August. And so if we may be rubbing, and they told me to put that out there for you, say maybe rubbing some of the people the wrong way because we are bringing out a new energy in the world. So some people might not still be able to hang with this new divine sunshine that you're bringing out. It might be trying to bring you out into to go back to your old way. But you know, at that point, it's too late now. You didn't went too far. You like the new person that you are. It's almost like you're intoxicated by who you are. Not in a nasty way, but it's like I feel good with who I am. And it's a new day, it's a new dawn, and I'm feeling good. So I'm not going back to that. So whatever it is they're trying to do. So you're gonna be like a little firecracker to some people. Like, I'll be damn, she just started stuff like a little jalapeno Lena. So you know, keep that in mind, divine feminines and divine masculines from this firecracker. And that's going to help you from that aspect. Again, some of you all in those karmic situations. If you're still in it, even in August, you're going to be kind of popping off at the mouth a little bit, and not in a bad way. It's just like, listen here, I can't, I'm sorry. What did I tell you? I said I didn't want that. Yeah, but you liked it before. That's because you forced me to like it. I said I don't want it. So that's something that you gotta, you know, you're gonna be voicing yourself. If you're not out of those common situations by then, you definitely will be like a little firecracker. You've been like a powder keg, been sitting on the top of long enough. And at this point, you're like, damn it, I don't care how it lands, how you take what I'm saying, but I'm saying it because I want my freedom. I deal with my freedom in July, and so now I want my fireworks. Okay. So it's kind of like some of you is like a July to August kind of layover of energies. So this energy can be used to start something new or to break out of. I already said that because Spirit has brought that to me. So I'm just talking about it. So that's what August is going to bring. All right. So now I wanted resources again. If you liked what I had used here from K Moon, I believe that always when you are using other people's work, or you using some person's style or some kind of technique that you have also found a way to kind of incorporate into your way of doing things. I think it's always good to give homage or to give credit. I guess that's pretty much from my research background of doing that. One reason why I do that is because that's giving honor to that person, that they listen to source to give you that information that you could be able to use out in the collective. So that's honoring them and saying, yes, K Moon had did this and came up with this. I put in my own little things and channelings as well. On the last part about August and July, that's for me. That's not K Moon. K Moon was about, again, the full moon. So let me get that straight so we understand why we citing people. Everything else was about when she's talking about the different energies and other things I added in there. This was really inspired and based upon some of the information that she had given in her video. So if you like some of it, you want to hear straight from the source, you can go to K Moon's channel, Sagittarius and Full Moon for Twin Flames, guiding the collective toward love and truth. She has another one talking about twin flames, light workers too as well, and about the Sagittarius moon and how that helps and affects that as well. But like I say again, I feel that it's good that you do that because that gives them honor that they had listened to source and this they took time out to really what was given from source to give to you. So I like to give that out to all the other readers too as well. If you hear something or you're doing something that's very similar to other you hear that channel, I always give credence to whoever, like Jupiter 1111, some things that she has said. I really stress that very strongly. It for me, that's my own personal thing. I do have semi kind of like an issue with that when I hear a lot of people using or doing things that are similar to others, and that you've gotten that idea or whatever for somebody else. I think it's always good to just give them honor, just like when we're doing research and you have to cite on APA or Chicago style or whatever it is. You give credence for that. I guess that's from my research that I just always do truly believe in citing the source. Where did I get that idea from? Where did I get that concept from? And as well, if you can't remember, but at least say, I can't remember where I got it from, but I know some reader on YouTube had told this, and this is what I want to share. That just gives honor for people in their work, them taking time out to do things. And I just think this is a very honorable way. That's what they talk about, new ways of honoring things. That's half times is what brings up the competition with each other, letting know, we're working together. I give you honor for you giving me that idea. I give you honor for using your information. So it's just very much, that's half our problem. That's what we got, that differences in male and female things, where a lot of times the male is getting credit and the female say, that was my idea. How you going to board meeting and use that? And okay, all right. Like that. I told you, but because they listen to you, I'm saying the same thing, but they listen to you because you got a male voice, but then they cancel me out because I got a female voice. It helps us as light workers to kind of set that trend to understand where those things of citing and giving honor to each other. Okay. All right. I can stop sharing this. Okay, so now this was my little master class that I had used here. Oh, as an hour of teaching. Okay, this is the little master. I'll stop. This is the little master class. I really was teaching. No hair fell down and everything. This is the little master class. I had this as a snippet to kind of teach you about some of the things I have done one in a long time. And then I'll add on some other things. So I'll see how spirit will lead me to go on to the next phase, especially when I'm off. What things I might want to offer as well. But if you did like what I was sharing with you today, please make sure that you click like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Smash the bell so you get notifications about what other great things that I'm offering on this channel. I love my channel because it's just as eclectic as I am. I try to give you every tease that I can to help you to get into union, whether it's the playground experience, whether it's the Sankofa, where I talked about past life, past loved ones giving us channel messages about for different signs to help us to be able to understand what we need to be doing as far as being successful in this twin flame journey. I also give you on this channel, as well as the divine, the point of view for the divine masculine, because I've stated I am the divine masculine advocate, because again, that's me advocating for the part of me that's the divine masculine energies that we all have. As well, I also do the current energy readings, and I also do the karmic energy readings, so you can be able to get an understanding of what's going on in those situations, rather as yourself as being in karmic situations, as Kathy D has helped me to understand, as a divine feminine or divine masculine. We can't credit and say it's their problem, that some of us are still in those issues as well. So those are the things that I have a very well-rounded channel. I'm very proud of that, things I think of and spirit tells me to do, I do it, and I give classes and techniques to help you to get into having the keys into union, which is elevating to the next whatever version of union that you see, rather it's the 3D version or the 50 version. Make sure that if you want a copy of what I had for you as far as the workbook or the presentation that I used for this, and some of you all say I could not see, please go to divineunisols11.co, which is just for $4, just $4 for you to just purchase that, so you can have your own copy. And for that, and then also if you're interested and you need some support and you like some mentoring or some things, I'm also offering again the Sunshine Circle for the month of June to July. It starts June 10th and it ends July 10th, which is interesting. And so we meet on, for you, it's Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays, Fridays, 1 p.m. Central via Zoom. It's very good stuff. We had a lot of breakthroughs from the last one. We had graduation from the last one, which I helped to elevate the ladies to really be able to shine and showcase their skills and talents. And even if they didn't see it, I sat there and I seen what things they were talented in, and for them to be able to use for the collective. And so that was so very helpful to see how they graduated and had evolved over that short period of time, just in a month's time. So being also that synergy and being with other people helped to also take action, helped to be able to have them elevate to the next level. And that's work that they've done on their own, but it just, sometimes you need somebody on the outside to help to give you that extra push to say, okay, this, you are have greatness, but you just need me to just kind of draw this out of you. And that's why I always would say that's really a good thing for you to join right now, especially when we're going through these periods, like I say, for June, July, and August. You want to be that firework. We can help to bring out those fireworks that's in you by being a part of the Sunshine Circle. So go to divineunisols11.co, is just $22 for you to be able to join and have membership in the Sunshine Circle. Make sure that you hit the new, not returning, the new Sunshine Circle. All right, then. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you.